Sounds
Hello, and welcome to our series on My Happy Place, a collaborative dance with Joya Wellness and CBD. I'm Nancy Beth, and this is the president and founder of Joya, Deanna Brown, calling in from Georgia. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be here.
I'm so glad you said yes. It's so appropriate that we're starting with you, Deanna, because the whole context for this wellness series is to honor the kind of 8 dimensions of wellness that we see at Joya as things to think about when we are trying to create a life of well-being. And we have products that hit all those areas, but we know that it's lifestyle as well. So to start the series with your context of just Joya and just everything we're about just brought me so much joy. So thank you for saying yes. And I want to hear a little bit about your story and how you got started with Joya.
Yes, absolutely. I often tell people if someone had told me, 4 or 5 years ago what I would be doing today, I think that I would have looked at them like they were, crazy because I didn't know anything about CBD. I didn't know anything about this amazing hemp plant that could help so many people. And so it's really interesting how we got here. But about 2 years ago, I was looking for a natural solution for myself. Having insomnia for over a decade. And while I was researching, I realized that in all my research of looking into CBD and what the hemp plant could do for you, I realized it was so safe and such a natural solution for our daughter who had been still is, but suffers from really debilitating anxiety. When she was about 8, 9 years old, it started, and she just has an irrational fear, which is sad because if it was rational, you can help people, but when it's irrational, there's not a lot you can do. But irrational fear of falling asleep at night, no problem sleeping, but irrational fear of actually falling asleep and being the last one awake in our home. And I tell you, it was really challenging for many years of how our family life at nighttime. It would start about 5 o'clock when she would start to worry about what nighttime was yet to come, and dinner time, her stomach hurt. I thought there's stomach problems. She is probably allergic to something, and so we went through lots of different testing. And myself being on pharmaceutical prescriptions of different kinds, I knew I did not want that for her. And so when the Farm Bill passed in 2018 and CBD was now legal in all 50 states, really did a lot of research. And what I found was there was like, it was the wild, wild west. There was so much out there, so much chaos that I was actually getting really frustrated. Everything that I saw online were images and information that reminded me of what my parents would tell me in high school. Oh, stay away from that, stay away from this. And the minute I saw the word cannabis or a friend use the word cannabis plant, I'm like, well, this isn't going to work for us.
Yeah.
But it was really disappointing to me that there weren't brands out there that spoke to me, the chief household officer, and my family, when I'm the one that makes all these decisions. We have 3 daughters, and they all had different, and they still do, all different kinds of doctors. A physical therapist, I have a mental therapist, we have a physician, pediatrician. The list goes on of all the
Mhm.
different doctors that they have seen. And so um, what was really challenging for me is trying to find a solution for her that was not a prescription that she would start taking at such a young age. And so when I went to my husband, who is an amazing entrepreneur and very gifted and a visionary, said, "Well, we we need to start one, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we find a brand or build a brand that's meant just for families?" And I said, we should, because we started giving our daughter CBD, and within 24 hours, I saw a difference. But within 48 hours, our whole family dynamic changed in the evenings. We went from tears at dinner all the way up to bedtime, with me in bed with her until probably midnight, trying to coax her and tell her everything that's okay, to 2 days later of her being able to get ready. We still have a very strict nighttime ritual,
Yeah.
but her being able to put herself into bed and me not laying there with her. She was calm.
Mhm.
Feelings of anxiety had disappeared. And I tell you, it was unbelievable to me. I grew up, my father's a veterinarian. So we didn't do vitamins and supplements. It was all, you know, he was giving us medication for anything that we needed. So my
Mhm.
husband's father is a oral surgeon. Our whole family is surrounded by physicians, and I love them dearly. But I
Mhm.
didn't grow up with that natural solution path. So I was amazed. I was so amazed at how well it worked for her that truly the way Joy started was that I just started sharing with everyone that I could talk to about how well it worked for her. And then I turned around and realized I needed to focus on myself to get better sleep and get off my own pharmaceutical prescriptions. And it's changed our whole family. So I true believer of, if you find something amazing and great, why wouldn't you share that with everyone? And so Joya came to be in the summer of 2019. We have an amazing chemist who helps us formulate really amazing products, as you know, Nancy. And we're just so proud of our ability and vision to be able to produce products that are safe, high quality, and made for everyone in the whole family. So
Mhm.
I know I get a little worked up and I'm passionate about it. So I'm sorry that could just
No, 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 I'm so
going.
glad you told that because you actually told it in a different way. I've heard you speak so many times, and every time it's powerful, Deanna. But what was really interesting is just noticing how you focused on the families, you focused on the chief household officer, which I've known this about the brand. But what hit me when you spoke this time is, wow, those are the key people making the decisions about what gets into the house and what the family will ingest and take and routines and all that stuff. And so many of us were growing up in that medical model that's what you thought. There was something wrong, you went to the doctor. I mean, we always had our mother's intuition, and we always like look for solutions that would be good and all that. But how often, ear infection, better get to the doctor because it could be this, it could be that. Like that was the mindset.
Right.
And so it wasn't even, a consideration that there were alternative remedies at the time. And our parents did what they knew, and we started doing what we were raised in. And
Exactly.
luckily, all of this new insight is coming in, and I mention other botanicals and other, natural solutions because as Joy has expanded their product line, what started out was simple CBD solutions has become this beautiful, curated and thoughtfully designed collection that Rachel and the leadership team have done so that targeted solutions can layer upon the foundational benefits of getting CBD in our system. And we'll talk more about that later, but it's just, I love that the brand has a feminine feel. I love that, it takes away from the edge that you're just by like, oh, what's this thing I'm giving my family? That there's some trust. And I love that when we taste the products, particularly the tinctures, they taste delicious. And so it's not this horrible experience of like, oh gosh, I know I'm taking what's good for me, but it's, really unpleasant. It's nice. And so you can create a wellness ritual around that practice and just pause, and we'll talk about the tinctures and stuff later. But yeah, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I love the leadership team that you've put together. I was blessed to be able to be part of Joya before the products went live. I went down to Serenbe in Georgia, the initial launch meeting for the team that was starting to bring this product out into the field. And I was so impressed at that time by not only the way you all work together, but by the substance behind the brand, behind the understanding of how cannabis and hemp and CBD work and the distinctions between that and marijuana. Like it was solid and it gave me confidence. And, I was excited when we spoke to Ginny and we heard about the opportunity, but I was nervous. I mean, same like you, it's like, I'm a mom of three boys. I spent all these years making sure that, everybody, like I held a certain line, right? And suddenly mom's getting CBD, like, and they're looking at me like,
I
you
know.
know,
How many years do we teach them? Just say no, and this is how
right,
you say no, and then
right.
bring this in, and it's like, okay, now I've got to make sure everybody understands the difference, and how it works. And I mean, I'm still explaining it to my own parents, uh, who are very well educated but still have this mindset. And so, but it's also combined with that mindset of we didn't grow up with natural solutions, and look into homeopathic ideas. That just wasn't
Mhm.
in our family. And so it's interesting in how they're accepting of it and they see a difference. And so that's what is so important to me. And I just love seeing the effects on people when they try it, and we help them receive the benefits that they're looking for, and
Mhm.
seeing the difference it makes. And the testimonials are just unbelievable. That's what drives me every day, is hearing someone else's new story of how it helped with their migraines, or some aches and pains that they were having every morning when they were getting out of bed, and they feel amazing. And so it's just an awesome feeling to know that you're making a difference.
Oh, yeah. And it's also interesting to see the range of ages of people that are benefiting from it. I mean, my 80-year-old mother is on some of our products and she loves them. And I know a lot of other wellness advisors have children like you, like yours. Of course, they always check with their doctors first to make sure it's okay. But it's helping kids that can't focus. It's helping anxiety and stress. And during the pandemic, thank God we had these products because I can tell you the level of stress that I observed in people during this past year was just unbelievable, and that causes other medical issues, right? You know, to not be able to just get your body working and to be having cortisol running through your body all the time, that's not good. So, I laughed the other night because my husband and I were watching a movie, and of course, you know, a commercial came on, and it was for some pharmaceutical, and we both laughed and looked like, okay, wait for it. Like, you know, after they get done telling you the benefits, it's the list of could do this. And I'm like, you know, we don't have that from Joya. The World Health Organization has confirmed that it's safe to take it and it's not addicting. So, you know, I'm sure depending on a person's situation, you have to be careful with anything. You could take an herb that's not correct if you take certain medicine, but we don't have to worry about any of that. It's like natural. It's from plants. It's, you know, it's just so refreshingly different to be able to do that, and I'm honored to be part of the culture, that's growing around this awareness and educating people about the distinction between products because not everything that's on the market is safe and effective or even what they say is in the bottle.
Right.
So, you wanna say anything about that, our quality standards?
Absolutely. That was like a no-brainer to us, that there was never going to be a question whether our products are high quality and tested. One of the things that I discovered when I was looking is that the there it's again the wild wild west. Products didn't have labels. It didn't tell you how much was in the bottle. The information on the bottle was confusing to people. And I grew up with my father being a veterinarian. I know how to read a label, and so I just thought it was so interesting who's making all these decisions. And so we decided early on that we would follow all the FDA guidelines no matter what, because no one's monitoring this. But why wouldn't we do it? Because it will be someday soon that everyone will need to abide by the guidelines. And I hope that comes soon, because it will weed out, no pun intended,
Yeah.
all of the other companies that are really doing a disservice to the, the people out there. So for our products, and this is so important, I tell people this all the time, that even if you don't buy from us, these are the things that you should know about any product with CBD, is that you should know that ask for third party testing. And so while I'm sure there are great products coming from nutrition stores, and other retail locations, but you should still ask for that third-party testing, meaning that you get the test results back
Mhm,
from the bottle and everything that's in the bottle. So, for instance, in Joya, we pay a third-party company that's not associated with us, but they test all of our raw ingredients
mhm,
before the product is manufactured, and then we test it again after it has been in the final vessel. And so we make this public. We publish it on our website. Every product you get, has a batch number on it, and then you can match that right to our website with the
mhm.
batch number. And so there's never you don't have to worry because there's never going to be a product that doesn't pass all of the guidelines and everything that's supposed to not be in that bottle, harsh chemicals.
Mm,
And so I think that's really important for everyone to know because if it doesn't have that third party testing, you don't know what you're taking. And
mhm.
so it's extremely important to know exactly what is in that solution, what's not in the solution, how is it hemp extracted from the plant. And so all of those things are so vitally crucial to making a decision. So we joke often about how you can get CBD everywhere on the, at the you can get it at
Convenience
the
store.
farmer's market, but you can get it, at the gas station, but you probably shouldn't. You do more research there. So
Mhm.
all of our products are made in a GMP approved factory facility. And if it's not, then we don't use that manufacturer. So all of
Right,
those.
and I remember one of the stories of, your business partner, Keith, that had gone around looking to vet places, both in terms of farms to grow the field and, grow the hemp in the field, as well as manufacturing facilities, and the stories he came back with were shocking. I mean, number one, what you're saying, Deanna, about the, hemp not absorbing things from the soil because it's a plant that really does take everything
Yes,
out,
yes,
as well as what places that people put manufacturing solutions that go in our body.
right.
I'll leave it at that. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but you can be assured when you purchase from Joya that your product is clean, it's pure, it's tested, and even when it's done, as Deanna said, in the final formula, it is checked again. So if it's not, we send it back to the manufacturer, and we've done that before we've released products. So that's part of the reason that, it's nice being part of an entrepreneurial space because you have the flexibility to make those decisions and move quickly and still service the customers. So I love being part of Joya. I love what you're doing. Is there anything in particular that you think somebody that's just learning about CBD might want to know in their wellness journey, about CBD or even about the importance maybe of the wellness practices? Because that's something that we really emphasize. It's not just what you take in a bottle, but it's how you live.
That's right. I really do think that is important because so many people are desperate for a solution when it comes to what they're dealing with. And so we think it's really important to make sure that people understand that while CBD and our products are amazing and they will make you feel better, there are other things that you need to do in your life that will help emphasize that relief. And it's not just about popping a capsule.
Mm,
So when Chris and Keith and I all got together to start this business, we had all started prior businesses and um, been in a situation where it was extremely stressful. It was extremely challenging. It put so much stress on our family life that we often said, in that first business or second business in the past, what am I doing? Is
mm,
this really what I should be doing with my life? And so when we started this one, knowing our goal, our mission, our values, and what we wanted to do to help people, we also decided, okay, listen, this cannot be at the sacrifice of our own families.
mhm,
And that if nothing else, we are going to have fun. We are going to build a business that everybody enjoys working at from the top, and hopefully it will go right down to the field. We will
mhm,
um, provide wellness practices, talk to people about what you can do in your own life. Life should not take over and give you this feeling of overwhelming stress,
mhm,
and you've got to take time for yourself. And how do you do that? So many people want that, but they don't know how. And so it's just small little things and things that I had never practiced before, and now I'm doing it with my own children. In fact, something that Sailor and I, and I get a little goosebumpy. Sailor and I practice when she's feeling stressed. She takes her CBD. She takes the sleep sprays that helps her fall asleep quickly. But when we travel, she gets anxiety.
mhm,
New place, new surroundings, doesn't, where's the front door, where's the back door, lots of different things run through her head. And I could sit there for hours and talk to her about emergency plan, this window, that's not it. It's she knows we're safe, But what we do is we hold each other and we do deep breathing together. And I talk to her. And, the first couple of times, she was like, Mom, this is really weird. And I'm like, I know, but it's just you and me. Nobody has to know about it. Um, let's just try it. And so I would count and she would breathe and we would do it together. And like the first time, I was like, okay, Mom, that's good. And then the next time I'd make her do it again. And after a couple of times, she would come to me and say, okay, will you breathe with me? And I knew, like, oh my gosh, this is like, she gets it and she feels a difference. And so that's what I want people to understand. It's little things like that, that actually there are studies that show that doing box breathing actually helps you calm down. So I would have never tried those things prior to Joya. And now it has changed our family. And so those are the things that I love to share too, because she's 14 now and she still comes to me when in those moments like, hey, and I know she doesn't even have to ask. She just puts her hands out because we hold each other's hands like this and we close our eyes. And it's not a hug, it's just like being really close so that we can feel each other breathing. So you're facing each other. And those are just, it sounds small, but is so impactful and it's made such a big difference. So we all really talk about taking time for your family and being present because we certainly were not present in our family's lives when we were doing our first businesses.
Mhm.
So huge, huge message that we try to tell everyone. And it's so interesting because we're all about building your business, right? Who are
Right,
you
right.
talking to? And it's, talking about sales, you're always thinking, but you're a much better salesperson, sales communicator, sharing the story when you take care of yourself. If you don't
Mm,
take care of yourself, then you're not able to take care of other people.
100%
So
in agreement, 100%. And what you're doing with her is such a lifelong experience that she's having this embodied experience with her mother, and that she'll turn to that when she's not with you, and she'll know it and her body will know it. And I have seen it through the whole corporate culture. I have seen it move down through the organization, and the wellness advisors do speak the same language about, we even have wellness consultations, and we have a tool now that we use, and it gives us the opportunity to ask people questions that sometimes they've never even reflected on. And you have the answers within you. You know what you need to do, but you need to stop and listen and be open to some resources. So at Joya, that's some of what we're doing, and it's just a taste, but we hope that you will take advantage of this series this week and learn from some other people in the wellness space and start to see what you need. And that you'll join us for a wellness consultation and see if we may help you and offer some products. And
absolutely. I
Deanna,
love
it's
wellness
just
talk.
a
So
joy being with you. Joy, joy, joyful.
thank you, thank you, thank you, Nancy. I so appreciate it.
So everybody have a great week and don't forget to breathe. Thank you.